do this community meeting around the states, every states, as part of our Board of Regents meeting. Even if we have less people from the community, our stakeholders, but we would like to hold this meeting to listen to you and to allow this opportunity for people to ask questions to the board. And if there's any other questions that you want to raise to our president, we would like to offer this opportunity for you. When we go around the states, we introduce members of the board, but I think you all know us already, because we've been doing this for how many times here at the college. But let me do that again, since we have a new member of the board, new region of the board. We have Belma Johnson Mingy as our newest region of the Board of Regents. This has been our first meeting with the board. So sitting on her left is Regent Saladu, representing the state of Yap. We are two of our regents. We received a call from Regent Johannes Burton, representing the state of Chuk, to the Board of Regents. There's an urgent situation that he has to attend to. He won't be able to join us in this meeting. Regent Churchill Edward is Director of Education for Bombay. We're not sure if he'll be able to join us. What we understand is he's been very busy with. He asked yesterday to be excused in the afternoon to finish POE budget for Ponte. And I am Delantru Wakik, representing the state of Ponte. I mean, Costa. We have, in our meeting yesterday, every annual meeting, we do election of officers of the Board of Regents. Yesterday was a renomination of all the members. So I became chairman again, chairman of the Board of Regents. Regent Johannes Burton Chu is vice chairman of the Board of Regents, and Regent Sullivan is secretary treasurer of the Board of Regents. So I once again thank you all for coming. I think we'll open for open discussions. We want to hold this meeting as informal as much as possible. So before we do that, let me ask President Desi to do opening remarks or any introduction if necessary.
Thank you, Chairman. Before I offer my remarks, I might just give an opportunity to the regent from YAP and our regent from representing the national government to offer a few words, maybe a perspective of the college or work so far on the board, or anything you'd like to share.
That's good.
Okay, thank you, President. Thank you, Chairman. It's such an honor to be here this afternoon. This is supposed to be a community meeting, but it's a family meeting. It's great that you find the time to be with us. And like Chairman mentioned, we had our meeting yesterday, and it was a great meeting. And I've learned so much about what you're doing and how well the college is doing. I understand that we have some challenges, but I'm sure that the administration, all of you can overcome those challenges, because you work together well, and I'm just happy to be here this afternoon to be with you, and thank you so much.
Well, it's an also honor to be here, although I was introduced as the newest member of the board. To those who are new, I may be a new member, but for those that have been here, this is like my second chance around campus because I was once an employee here for a very long time. It's good to be back, and I, as a representative of the national government, will do my best. And since it's my first board meeting, I guess I will be learning and listening for most of the times. I thank you for joining our meeting today.
Well, thank you, Chair. Actually, I'm so very pleased to see that we have as large a group here today, given the fact that classes are over and commencement is tomorrow. And then we're off for the recess. So thank you for taking the time to come. This has been a very busy week at the college, between finishing exams and faculty working hard to get grades in, and of course our holiday party, which I think is legend now. People were watching the streaming, and I guess everywhere I went, people said, "Wow, that was a heck of a party." And then we've had a board meeting, and a couple of things that the board implemented. It was about a year ago in YAP. I think has really helped facilitate board deliberation and understanding of the not always just the issues or the challenges, but understanding ways in which they can be a very highly effective board. So some of the things that the board decided to implement last year was a pre-meeting. So it's a meeting between the president and the comptroller with a subcommittee, finance and audit committee of the board. And at that meeting, the members of the board who serve on the Finance and Audit Committee review the financial position of the college and the budget. And so that helps to create a level of understanding of how this budget was developed. And I shared with the board when I was at the AACC meeting, the American Association of Community College meeting in November, where I serve on one of the commissions, Global Education. In one of the presentations, the president was talking about the financial challenges that institution was facing. And the challenges we face are not really much different from the challenges that other institutions face. And in many ways, because of where we are, we don't face a number of those challenges that they face. So, for example, our students don't take loans. So there's no huge debt issue when they graduate, which is not the case in the mainland. But this president said, so when we brought the budget to the board, we said, you're not just approving a budget, you're approving a plan. So we have our strategic plan, we have our integrated educational master plan, we have our 5-year financial plan, which sort of lays out where we hope we can go and how we're going to get there. So it's not just a set of numbers that they're approving, but they're really approving all the plans that they've approved over the course of the year, which would be financial plan and strategic plan. And so that was, I think that's a great initiative. And in fact, in their meeting with Wilson Hess during their board development, they agreed to continue that process. So that's really very, very good. And I'm glad they did that. And I'll speak about board development in a minute, because our board is exceptional in its dedication to self-improvement. So the second piece that was implemented a year ago was a meeting with the chairman of the board and the vice chairman of the board with the president to review the agenda. To go through the entire agenda so that if there are any questions or need for clarification, that could happen at that time. And since it followed immediately upon the Finance and Audit Committee, the new regent, Regent Mingy, sat in on that, and so it was very, very good, I think. Because what that does is it allows me also to understand what's the thinking of the board, what are they concerned about, where can we provide either more information to help them make good decisions or clarifying information. And then the full board met on Wednesday. We started at 8:30 and finished, I believe it was around 4 o'clock. And I'm pleased to say that the board did approve all of our budgets. So, and you know, our budget, Joe, the budget goes to national government January 15th. So this was the last board meeting before the budget was due. And thanks to the good work of all of you, but especially Vice President for Administrative Services and the Comptroller and all the Vice Presidents and the Deans and Directors, everybody who has a say kind of in the development of the budget, thank you for your timely review, discussions, deliberations to have completed the budget. Joe, when was it finally consolidated? It was early.
Very early, yeah.
You know, and you know, I remember when I first came here, well, almost 7 years ago. I will begin my 7th year in February. But when I came, there was a lot of people very disgruntled because the budget process that had just occurred was not very inclusive. And a lot of people felt it was rushed, that they didn't have a say in it. And so there were a lot of people who were upset. And I said, well, you know, there's nothing I can do about what happened, but moving forward, we can make sure that it doesn't happen again. And so the business office and vice president worked very hard to develop a budget development process, which is very transparent. We all see it. We know what's supposed to happen and when it's supposed to happen. And so when that budget comes at the end, nobody's surprised. We've had discussions about, you know, how it's developed and why. And you know, everything in that budget is dedicated to, you know, our one priority, and that's student success. And so when it goes to the board, you know, they understand there's been a lot of folks involved in the discussion of that budget. Also at the meeting, we talked about all of the wonderful, you know, initiatives that are happening across the college, from, you know, the commendations of the Financial Aid Office, you know, by the U.S. Department of Education, wasn't it? Yeah. And so, Regents, there's the man who was responsible for earning that commendation, and so that's you know, terrific. We talked about accreditation and where we are. We have as you all know, we have a follow-up report that was submitted in October. We have a commission meeting in January where Chairman Wadgurk and myself and Dr. Harris as the ALO will appear before the commission. Our hope is that they're going to accept that report and we'll have no more reports to the commission until 2020, which is the midterm. And then in 2023 is the next comprehensive team visit. But we feel pretty good. You know, if you've read that report, all of you, everyone, here and across the entire college should feel very, very good about the work that we've done. We talked about the infrastructure development plan, okay? And a week before the board met, just that week, I think it was on Friday, Joe? Before, last Friday.
That's right, yeah.
We were informed that the next, phase of the infrastructure development plan for the college was approved, funded. So that includes the health teaching clinic here. It also includes the beginning sort of site preparation work for the campus in Chute, which we're really excited about. I think there's a project in Koshrai,
Multi-purpose facility.
the multi-purpose facility in Koshrai. And then additional, I think it's infrastructure development work here on the national campus. Work has been undergoing in FMI for the cadet center, which is, just for me, it's very exciting. And they're replacing the roof on the main facility, right, particularly over the dining hall. And then there've been some enhancements to the campus. So we have lighting so that the cadets can play basketball at night, and some fitness programs. So some real nice initiatives going on there. We're very excited around the 25th anniversary. I can hardly contain myself because it's finally going to happen. And there's going to be lots of exciting events happening that first week in April. And there'll be some things leading up to it. The Postmaster General, who is our commencement speaker tomorrow, is committed to another commemorative stamp for the college, which some colleges never get a commemorative stamp. And we're going to have 2 in a matter of 5 years, and this is a big deal. I mean, I think the only other colleges that I know that had stamps, commemorative stamps, were land-grant colleges in the 1800s. So that's going to be very exciting. As well, it was funny, maybe it was a year or so ago, I was sitting with Joe Buchmai in his office, and I said, there's nothing at the campus that distinguishes itself. So there's nothing here that says you've arrived to a unique institution in Micronesia. And so I said, what would be a cultural focal point, where everybody would go and say, yes, that represents, our culture. And so we talked about the logo of the college. And I said, wouldn't it be nice if we could get a canoe? Joe said, well, how big? And I said, like a real one. Not a model, but a real one. And we should display it in our new student center. So I didn't think about it. And then I go back to Joe, and he says, oh, by the way, the canoe is on its way. And it will be here when the ship lands. So the canoe is here. And then the Yapese community is very excited, and they're all coming together, and they're going to build a canoe hut. So part of the 25th anniversary is going to be an unveiling of the canoe and the canoe hut, and we hope to get Larry from Yap to come and give a lecture about being a master navigator and traditional navigation. And then Floyd Takeuchi, who many of you may know, served on the ACCJC, but came out to Chuk and has a real affinity for Chuk and did some beautiful photos. And then was asked to exhibit them in Japan at Sophia University at the time of, I think, it followed the time of Manny Mori getting his honorary doctorate from Sophia University. So he's gone out and had exhibits, and he's asked again to do an exhibit. So we asked him, well, would you do an exhibit as part of our 25th anniversary? And he said, yes. So the photos are printed, they're going to be matted, and they'll be shipped to us. And then our maintenance crew is going to build the frames. So we've already picked out the wood that local. And there'll be an exhibition. He'll come out and do a lecture. And then he has agreed to gift those to the college as part of our permanent collection and we'll identify, a permanent exhibit area. And then I think Karen is working, hopefully, to secure the filmmaker for Island Soldier to come out. This is about the Kosh Ryans that served in the U.S. military. And it's a heck of a documentary. So we're going to, I guess, screen it at the Pompey Cinema. And the U.S. Embassy has agreed then to host a reception for our veterans. So it's just, and then this is going to be an academic convocation. All of the presidents of the Pacific Island colleges, from Honolulu to Northern Marianas College, to CMI, to Palau, to American Samoa, and UOG, are all coming here for the academic convocation. So it'll be really quite nice. And then there will be cultural events and athletic events, and the Olympic Committee has already said that they will sponsor all the trophies. So, and that includes for the athletic events at the state campuses too, so not just here. So, I think I said a little bit at the holiday party, we're finishing the year really strong, but we're going to begin the year really strong as well. I am truly encouraged by all the progress that we make. We have our bumps in the road, and sometimes we don't agree, and and tempers get a little flared, and but then we get to this time of the year where we step back, we can take a break, we can get rest, we can renew, refresh, and come back with a great level of energy. So when I look at everything that we've done and how we've come together, we're not 5 or 6 campuses that are loosely joined together. We are one college, and all of our campuses are important. We, through our governance process, we bring everybody together for summits. That's an important and powerful decision-making process that helps inform how we move forward as an institution. So in the board meeting, one of the things that isn't done yet, but I think I've mentioned it to you many times, that we needed to determine the impact of the college on this nation, an economic impact. And we have engaged a consultant to do that study. Phase 1 is done, and it's very powerful. But there are 3 phases, and we'll roll it out probably in May or June when it's all done. But as a result of the economic impact study, I said to the board, when I spoke to the board in Koshrai, I said, I believe, we have arrived as a college. The final piece that we needed to kind of get in place was student life. And I think, that's evident that we've made huge progress there. And I said, I'm cautiously optimistic for the future of the college. But in this board meeting, I told them I'm more than encouraged, I'm more than optimistic, I am confident in the future and sustainability of this college. Our financial position remains strong, and we want to keep it that way. So many of the other higher education institutions falter when it comes to finances. But we've been very creative in terms of how we consolidate, how we conserve, prioritizing what is important to us in terms of student success and putting our resources there. Would it be nice to have boatloads of money and endless resources to do all the things that we want to do? Yeah, but that's not the case, and we're not alone there. But remember, one of the most powerful commendations that this college received came out of the accreditation team report. And it said we were commended for our fiscal discipline, the ways in which we can accumulate resources, grow our endowment, and that just helps us, invest. And we do it in very thoughtful ways. So I'll give you one example. The residence hall. So we've put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of resources to maintaining, that as a home away from home for our students. And they really appreciate it. And, I walked down, some of the regents walked through the other day. They said, can we have a tour? And I said, well, you can go now if you want. Because I am so comfortable and confident that no matter what day of the week or how many months I might be away from not visiting, when I walk through there, I know what I'm going to see. It's going to be well maintained, it's going to be clean. And students are very respectful. But we've begun a process of enhancing that, replacing furniture that needs to be replaced. Down in maintenance, I was pleased to see all the pallets of mattresses, so all the new mattresses are here.